It's a major ruling and a major moment that a lot of people had been waiting on here. The judge granting this temporary restraining order blocking President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops in Illinois on the same day that we got our first glimpses of Texas National Guard troops just behind me here in Broadview outside Chicago. Now, I want to take you through a little bit of what the judge considered here as part of her oral ruling, which she described as a high-level summary today. One of the things she talked about was describing what rebellion was. She described it as deliberate, organized resistance openly opposing the government as a whole. And she said, I have seen no credible evidence that there has been rebellion in the state of Illinois. And that's critical because, again, the government had been arguing that the protests that we have seen threatened this state of rebellion. She also talked about the protests that we've seen here, that there were at one point 200 protesters, but 100 state and local law enforcement were on scene and were able to maintain control. Ultimately, it seems, she said this came down to the court having to make a, quote, credibility determination, and she called the assessments made by DHS as unreliable. As you can imagine, Governor J.B. Pritzker very happy with this decision, saying Donald Trump is not a king and his administration is not above the law. He had been pushing in that regard for a while and, of course, helped lead this lawsuit that began this court process. And I just got reaction in from Mayor Brandon Johnson of the city of Chicago. It said Judge Perry echoed many of the points we have made repeatedly. Trump's deployment is illegal, unconstitutional, dangerous, and unnecessary. We will see what appeal efforts may come up as well, but obviously a very big moment and day here in the Chicago area today, Aaron.